keep my hands in front.
Atlanta Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. It's the Green Bay Packers and the Atlanta Falcons. Hello, everybody. I'm Lindsey Nelson with Paul Horning here in Atlanta. David Whitehurst, the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, Paul, is coming home.
He sure is. He played here in Greater Atlanta, Walker High School, and I'm sure he'd like to have a great day. But, Lindsey, I think we have to say something about last Monday night. I never saw a team play with more emotional game for 60 minutes in all of professional football, and the question is whether the Packers can keep that emotional pitch.
That's the big question. Of course, the Atlanta Falcons are trying to break a losing streak.
They sure are. They've never lost 4 in a row under Lehman Bennett. They're on a 3-game losing streak. This is a better football team than 2 and 3, and they're going to go at it, and I think the Packers are going to be loose and throw everything again at Atlanta.
We're getting close, so let's take a look at the field. And it's going to be the Atlanta Falcons kicking off to the Green Bay Packers. Steve Odom is center deep to receive it for the Pack. Ball is in the air. Odom is at the goal line, and he runs it out to the 5, to the 10. And he's still at the 11-yard line. So the Green Bay Packers will start, but they start from deep in their own territory. It was Joel Williams downfield for the Atlanta Packers to make the tackle. Here's the offensive line for the Green Bay Packers. Concar's back in there starting again today at tackle. He's been out with an injury. There are the receivers. Lofton, of course, the top receiver. And the backfield, Cordell Middleton and Barty Smith starting once again as the running backs for David Whitehurst. First down and 10 yards to go at the 11-yard line. Whitehurst will pass on first down. Well, he won't. He's going to scramble out. Penalty mark has been thrown across the field. He went back to pass, but found everybody covered and was run out of bounds for a loss of about 3 by Frank Reed, but there is a marker across the field.
Number 89, Andre Thompson, Lindsey, was cut down about the 30-yard line. That is exactly where the flag is. Let's check out the penalty.
Officials are getting it checked out now.
There is no penalty for an illegal chuck because the play was a running play. It did not result in a pass.
There it is. He was chucked down the field, Lindsey, about the 30-yard line. If Whitehurst would have thrown the pass, it would have been a penalty against Atlanta. But he ran the football around the left side. No penalty.
Lost about 1.5 yards on the play. There's the defensive front 4 for the Atlanta Falcons. There are the linebackers. And the deep back. Second down, 11 yards to go. Barty Smith in the I formation at the fullback spot. Whitehurst back again. It's long to the left side, and it's incomplete. Trying to get it to Andre Thompson over there on the far sideline.
And the Packers come out throwing right away. They're back deep in their own territory. It's a pickup of last Monday night. Bart Starr changed his whole thinking starting last week. He threw the conservative thinking out the window. And right now, Whitehurst is pumping him up in the air. He's trying to get that first down in better field position.
And the Monday night game, Green Bay passed on first down 14 times in the ballgame.
They're going to throw a lot on first down, Lindsey. I was talking to the coaches. They say Atlanta is predictable. They are a better team to throw against on first down.
They got 3 wide receivers in there right now. Whitehurst goes back to the goal line, rolling and looking. Throws it back, and it is incomplete. Forward pass incomplete, intended for Cordell Middleton. So that will bring in the punting unit now for the Green Bay Packers, as they have been unable to move the ball against the Atlanta Falcons defense. And the punter is David Beverly. He's a 6-year veteran from Auburn, and he has averaged 40.1 yards. It will be Dennis Pearson back to receive. Single safety back about the 50-yard line. Beverly kicking from his own end zone. Chases it out.
Roughing the kicker.
Taking it to 49. The flag is down back in the end zone. Another flag. And it's at the 45-yard line that he is stopped. Davy Simmons downfield to make the stop, but there's a penalty marker to be checked out. Punt was 41 yards. Now the officials get together. Gordon McCarter is the referee.
Beverly went down, and the flag was immediately thrown. What any question about it? He hit him. They're really protecting the kickers, of course. Tom Moriarty, number 45, was there. Let's check it out.
We have personal foul. Running into the kicker. We have a personal foul. A clip on the return.
You'll see Beverly back about 3 or 4 yards deep. Here he comes. Gets the kick away. Almost there. And it hit him on the left foot. And a good actor. Tom Moriarty, number 45. Here's a different angle for it. Here's 45. Tom Moriarty coming in. Almost got the kick. And he didn't hit him too much. But Beverly with a good acting job. All punters do it. They're coached to do it. You want to see the second penalty? There's the clip. Good camera work. There's a clip on a Packer about midfield. That's Frank Reed on the clip.
So, with the bookkeeping having been taken care of, it is first down for the Green Bay Packers, who retain possession of the ball. And it's out at the 15-yard line. There is no score. We're early in the first quarter. And a little conversation from Moriarty, guilty of running into the kicker as opposed to roughing the kicker. A lesser penalty. Turdell Middleton. But the Atlanta defense pulls him down for a loss of about a yard. Middleton has gained 229 this year, an average of 3.8 per carry. Greg Brazina made the tackle. He makes a lot of them.
The linebackers are the key to that Atlanta defense, Lindsey. Pennywell in the middle, Kuykendall and Brazina on the outside. 3 very quick, agile linebackers.
2nd and 10, lost about a foot on that last play. It's at the 15-yard line. David Whitehurst, a 3-year veteran who attended Furman. Whitehurst is stopped. It was Dewey McClain who got to him first. Dewey McClain got to him first along with Wilson Formalina.
Well, this shouldn't surprise the Packers. They blitz all the time. This is what the Atlanta defense, nobody picks him up. Looks like Leotis Harris, the right guard, should have come out to the right side and picked him up. A sack.
So it is now 3rd down and 20 yards to go.
This is the way the Packers played Monday night. Atlanta's picking up where they left off, it looks as if.
3rd and 20. Lofton's in a wide right, Andre Thompson's in the slot right. Quick pitch to Turdell Middleton.
Look at that pursuit.
The 9-yard line by Rick Fire. Robert Pennywell there. Punting unit comes in again for the Green Bay Packers, as again the Atlanta Falcons defense has held.
Not much you can do about that, Lindsey. This defense of Atlanta came to play this afternoon. Great pursuit. There's Pearson back on the punt return. He leads the NFL in punt return.
David Beverly is going to kick from his end zone.
Moriarty is lined up left of your screen again. He almost got that punt last time.
Pearson chases it over. But there will be no run back, and it is marked at the 39-yard line.
Not
good field position.
Not a good kick. 29-yard punt.
1st and 10 for Atlanta, and they have the ball at the Green Bay 39 with no score here in the first quarter in Atlanta, Georgia.
And now, a highlight of the incredible Ford factory tour. Incredible developments in our search for good performance, better mileage, and low emissions. We're working on a ceramic gas turbine engine that'll get at least 30% better mileage than a conventional engine of the same size.
Buddy, I'd call that incredible. I would.
We're experimenting with battery power. For instance, this hybrid vehicle. Over 20 miles per hour, it runs on gas. Under 20, runs on electric.
Oh, that's even more incredible.
Is there such a word as incredible-er?
Ford is even working on an engine that gets mileage like a diesel, but runs a lot cleaner.
Is there anything more incredible than incredible?
Yes, our little 4-cylinder Mustang. It accelerates like some cars with 8-cylinder engines because it's turbocharged.
Friends, I guess there's only one way left to express our basic emotions.
Ford, that's incredible.
To take the incredible Ford factory tour, write us for information.
Bart Starr talking to receiver Lofton along the sidelines as the Green Bay Packers have given up the football, and the Atlanta Falcons bring it up to the line, 1st and 10 at the Packers' 39-yard line. Bartkowski, the quarterback, Andrews and Bean are the setbacks in the I formation.
Got the speed in the slot left. Both flankers lined up left.
Give it to Andrews. The rookie from Auburn gets it inside the 35-yard line. William Andrews, who has rushed for 410 yards, averaged 4.3. Charlie Johnson made the tackle. Here's the defense, or rather the offense for Atlanta, the offensive line. And there are the receivers. And the back. Second down play coming here. Bubba Bean is in motion. That's Andrews again. Driving for the stick. May have got there as he got across the 30-yard line. Had to go to the 29.
Fine draft choice for Atlanta. William Andrews, a rookie out of Auburn. Watch this. He's going to slip outside the defensive left end. Number 77, Mike Butler. There's Earl Edwards on the inside. Butler could have made the tackle. Got a dislocated elbow he's playing with, and Rich Wingo makes the stop for the Pack.
It is a first down for Atlanta. They held the ball at the Packers' 29-yard line. Again, they're up there in the I formation for Bartkowski, who has completed 52.2% of his passes. Bartkowski pumps it, and it is incomplete. The move was made by Mike McCoy. Wallace Francis, the intended receiver.
That was a good pass by Bartkowski as we're going to take a look at the Green Bay defense. If Francis would have come back for the football, Lindsay, it would have been complete. He did not come back to the football. There's Butler, Edwards, Johnson, and Barber, the front defensive four.
And the linebackers for Green Bay. And the deep men. Green Bay Packers are a little short in backup personnel for that front four. They may be playing some strange alignments defensively because of lack of troops. Second down play coming, and 10 yards to go at the 29. Bubba Bean.
Look at that Gray. See something? Johnny Gray, number 24. Lindsay, last Monday night, I never saw two safety men keep the emotional pitch up for a team the way Johnny Gray and Steve Luke did for the Packers. Here, Johnny Gray again, coming up from his free safety spot. Bean goes to the outside, eludes the tackle by Robert Barber, switches the football as all good running backs should do when they're running to the left. And look at Johnny Gray. He loves to hit.
Third down and 6 yards to go for the Falcons. They spread out the receivers now for Bartkowski. Steve Bartkowski swings it out, and it's taken by Andrews. Look at that. That's the first down inside the 15-yard line. Jim Gano made the tackle.
And look at Andrews. He's really ready to go. Watch Bartkowski, Lindsay. He sees the linebackers in a deep drop set, just drops it over to his back. Little bit behind Andrews, and Andrews will do the rest. He needs about 13 yards from where he caught the football. Watch him go for the first down.
He's got it 1st and 10, and it's at the 13-yard line now of the Green Bay Packers. 12-yard pass play. Even up the running backs on the slot right. Motion to the left side. Andrews to the left side, just inside the 10-yard line. 2nd and 7 at the 10. Robert Barber made the tackle. Robert Barber is starting at right end defensively in place of Ezra Johnson. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Atlanta Falcons and the National Football League is prohibited. There is no score, but the Atlanta Falcons are driving with 9 minutes, 2 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Andrews has carried 3 times for 15 yards. 2nd down and 7 at the 10-yard line for the Atlanta Falcons. Bartkowski Goes to the corner. Touchdown! Alfred Jenkins. Alfred Jenkins for the touchdown for the Atlanta Falcons. His 18th reception, his second touchdown reception of the year.
Oh, beautiful execution. Alfred Jenkins. Look at the pass protection here. Bartkowski's got all day long on a corner pattern. Alfred Jenkins goes deep to the corner, and he beat Estes Hood back there. Estes Hood giving too much to the inside.
And now Alfred Jenkins has stretched this consecutive game streak to 47.
That's his second touchdown of the year.
Conversion attempt coming. Tim Mazzetti is in to attempt it. John James is holding, and Mazzetti's kick is good. And so, as they come back up the field, it is the Atlanta Falcons 7 and the Green Bay Packers nothing, with 8 minutes 46 seconds remaining to be played in the first quarter in Atlanta.
Beer tender, I'll have my favorite light beer.
Natural, sure. Want one for your friend?
My friend?
You see, you doesn't have to call it Anheuser-Busch Natural Light, and you doesn't have to call it Anheuser Natural. Just say natural.
He said natural. He knows for a smooth, clean taste and a great light beer, people distinctly ask for natural by name.
Name? My name is Raymond J. Johnson Jr. Now, you can call me Ray, or you can call me Jimmy.
From the people who brought you the workmate comes the incredible bench top. You can put it on a table or clamp it to a chair or use it on a roof or almost anywhere. It goes up in the attic or the basement down below. There's almost no place the bench top won't go. Black & Decker's bench top workmate, portable work center and vise. It turns the whole world into a workshop.
Bert Quint brings the story home. We call him the fireman because he's best when the heat is on.
Cronkite and Company, only on the CBS Evening News.
The Atlanta scoring drive, and now the Falcons will kick off. Mazzetti will boot it, and Steve Odom is deep, flanked by Nate Simpson and Howard Sampson. Odom slips down as he goes quickly for a touchback. No harm done, really, except he missed the catch for any run back, as it'll be brought out to the 20-yard line and put in play for first and 10.
A point here, Lindsay, to be made. It's two great kickoffs by Tim Mazzetti. And, of course, he won't get too much print in the paper about the first one, but the first kickoff, they stopped Green Bay inside the 15-yard line and gave him poor field position. And psychologically, that does something for your defense. There's Tim Mazzetti on the sideline. And now, anytime you get a field goal kicker today when they kick off from the 35, can put it even down to the goal line, he's doing a fine job.
David Whitehurst at the controls. Barty Smith, Turdell Middleton, or rather Steve Atkins is in there now also. Steve Atkins is a running back.
Going to throw on first down a lot today.
Lofton took it, was upended by Ray Easterling out there at the 21-yard line. 31-yard line.
This kid is really the only touchdown threat that the Packers have. Lofton, one of the great receivers in this league. And we use the grade a lot in the National Football League, but this kid is. Look at this catch. Number 32 is Ray Easterling.
Lofton now has a 22-game streak going, consecutive games in which he has caught a pass. First down and 10 yards to go. Green Bay at the Green Bay 31-yard line.
That's every game he's played with Green Bay.
Barty Smith. He got it out there at the 35 for 4. That'll make it second down and 6 yards to go. Game time temperature here in Atlanta, 70 degrees. Clear, the wind northwest 10 to 15 miles per hour. The Atlanta Falcons are leading by a score of 7-0 here in the first quarter. Lofton's in a wide right. Steve Atkins, the rookie from Maryland, is still in there at a running back along with Barty Smith. Dropping back, Whitehurst. Well, he's going to run it. Lunges across the 40 up to about the 42-yard line. Rick Bias was there.
And I like it. He went for the first down. David Whitehurst got the good quick feet, Lindsay. He's taking a lot of heat up around Wisconsin, but he's a fine quarterback, and the best is Bart has got to go with.
Whitehurst played high school football, as was mentioned at the top of the show, at Walker High in Decatur, which is Greater Atlanta here. Went to Furman and has developed into a fine young quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. Has completed 60.9% of his passes this year. That's Adkins carrying. And Frank Reed came up to make the tackle with Fulton Kuykendall.
Adkins, number 2 draft choice of the Packers. The number 1 they would have loved to have, especially for this game, Eddie Lee Ivory from Georgia Tech, a hometown product. And I tell you, Eddie Lee Ivory is going to be a great back. I think he's back in Green Bay starting his rehabilitation.
He has been this last week visiting relatives in Thompson, Georgia, and he's gone back to Green Bay, and I'm sure that Eddie Lee Ivory is looking in at this telecast this afternoon. That's Lawson in motion across. Give it to Steve Adkins, and Frank Reed came in to make the tackle.
Frank Reed coming in from strong safety position. They'll blitz everybody. They just read the defense well.
Third down play coming up now for the Green Bay Packers. The ball is spotted there just short of the 49, make it the 48-yard line. Third down and about 5.5 to go.
Now watch the Atlanta defense. They're in the 3-man front. Blitz from the outside.
It's intercepted at the 40-yard line. Roland Lawrence. Roland Lawrence at 50 at the 45, and Roland Lawrence goes out of bounds at the 42-yard line of Green Bay, where it is 1st and 10 for the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, Roland Lawrence comes up with his second interception of the game, and that ties the all-time interception record, Atlanta Falcon record. He's got 32 interceptions now. Here's Roland Lawrence. It looked as if David Whitehurst got lost. I don't know who he was throwing the ball to. There wasn't any Green Bay jersey in sight.
So now the Atlanta Falcons have good field position. We're in the first quarter, and they're leading by a score of 7-0.
This desert was a wasteland until Connecticut General lent me the money for an irrigation system. CG sure came through for me.
Coming through for you. That's what CG people do.
We wanted to be able to forecast the long-range implications of our pension plan. Connecticut General certainly came through for us.
Coming through for you. That's what CG people do.
Call us. We'll come through for you, too.
Come on.
Who's buying the beer tonight? Let's take turns. I call that thing.
Bush. Sunset, the time of day when you don't just reach for a beer. You head for the mountains. Bush.
Our last replay, we showed you the interception. Now let's see if we can pick it up from a different angle. Here comes Lofton back. Now they've rotated in a zone. Roland Lawrence comes up with the interception. He was really trying to go to James Lofton, but he was way short.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line for the Atlanta Falcons in Green Bay territory. This is Andrews, William Andrews from Auburn, and he got through to the 39-yard line. A penalty marker on the play. Incidentally, Turdell Middleton, running back of the Green Bay Packers, just went into the locker room accompanied by a member of the Green Bay training staff. Holding is indicated against the Atlanta Falcons.
Middleton, we understand, has a bruise on his shoulder and will be back.
Bud McCarty.
Holding, number 70, offense, repeat first down.
Dave Scott.
Dave Scott, the offensive left guard, big guy, 6'4", 285. Number 70 in there. He had a little bit better angle than you do at home.
And now Bean has come out. Dennis Pearson has come in for an extra receiver and one less running back in that alignment for the Atlanta Falcons. 1st and 10 at their own 47-yard line. Andrews. William Andrews just kept driving. Mike Douglas finally brought him down at the 1st and 10.
Well, he got the holding penalty back. Here's a little draw, trapped from the left side. Good block against, I think that's Douglas, 53 there. But he hustles back, gets in on the stop.
Isn't the first down because they had 20 yards to go, and so now it is 2nd down and 9. Markowski, and it is complete. Taken by Wallace Francis, and that's the 1st down. It is at the 25-yard line, and Estes Hood made the tackle.
Well, they're starting to work on Estes Hood over in the left corner. And Hood has a tendency to play deep. And the only way a cornerback can really play deep is to get a good rush out of your defensive front four. And, of course, the Packers have been hurt. A lot of injuries. It's a 20-yard pickup. Estes Hood was way deep. You can almost do anything you want over there if you get him in a man-to-man.
It's spotted at the 22-yard line. This is Bubba Bean. Texas A&M, and Bubba Bean can't keep his balance. He goes down at about the 6-yard line. Johnny Gray was there.
Oh, what a block. Lindsey, right guard. The rookie from USC, All-American Pat Howell, number 64, picking. Watch it. There goes Brian. He hooks Barber on the inside. Pat Howell just takes Steve Luke to the outside. Bubba Bean right up inside. Beautiful hole. 15-yard pickup.
1st down and goal to go for the Falcons. Have the ball inside the 7-yard line. That's Bubba Bean in motion to the right outside. Andrews with the ball. Drives inside the 5. Earl Edwards in to make the tackle. Picked up recently by the Green Bay Packers. He played his college ball at Wichita.
Lindsey, you think there's something to that Monday night jinx? It seems like every time a team plays sky high on Monday night, they come back the next Sunday and they're flat.
Well, I think it might be explained more rationally. I think probably it's the case of emotion getting so high that it's difficult to get up twice in a week. Second down play coming here for the Atlanta Falcons. Markowski's little pass out to Bubba Bean, but this time it is Mike Douglas there.
Fine defensive play by Douglas. He's the best pass rusher from a blitz situation. Douglas, second-year linebacker from San Diego State. They use a little play action here, trying to get it to Bubba Bean, working one-on-one with the linebacker. And Mike Douglas will have no part of letting him in.
3rd and goal at the 5-yard line. Bubba Bean comes out. Pearson comes back in.
I didn't particularly like that call. They only had 2 yards to go, and they had 3 downs to get it in. Now it forces them 3rd down to throw it.
Markowski. Incomplete. Incomplete. In and out of the hands of Wallace Francis.
Well, who wanted the football, Mike McCoy or Wallace Francis? Incomplete. Here we got it again. They got a slot left on the outside. You see Wallace Francis going from the slot. There's Mike McCoy has a piece of the ball. Now Francis, a little too hot to handle for both of them.
Tim Mazzetti is in to attempt the field goal now. And this will be a 23-yard attempt. Well within his deadly range. He is 6 for 11 overall. And Mazzetti's kick is good. And so as they come back up the field now, it is the Atlanta Falcons 10 and the Green Bay Packers nothing. And we have 2 minutes, 20 seconds remaining to be played in the first quarter of this game on a sunny day in Atlanta.
JCPenney's Plain Pockets corduroy jeans are a great buy at $12. But now, for a limited time only, our sale makes them an incredible buy at 20% off. They come in lots of terrific colors with the same kind of styling and fit as the best-selling corduroys, but for only $9.60 a pair. So hurry over right now and pocket an extra $2.40. JCPenney's Plain Pockets corduroys at 20% off. They're just plain fantastic.
Welcome to the 80s and the better ideas from Ford.
Better ideas for the 80s.
A new size Thunderbird available with electronic readouts. America's first fully automatic overdrive. First new truck of the 80s. Coming October 12th.
Better ideas from Ford.
This Friday night at 11:30 Eastern, take in a magic show. Magic Johnson's scheduled TV debut as the Lakers take on the Clippers. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Tim Mazzetti is kicking off, and Odom is deep. He is in the end zone, and he runs it out to the goal line 5. Steve Odom to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, and he goes out of bounds across the 20-yard line. Ray Easterling ran him out. A touchdown drive, 42 yards in 7 plays. It consumed 2 minutes, 56 seconds, and the Atlanta Falcons scored their second touchdown of the day. Now the Green Bay Packers once again. Or rather, field goal, I beg your pardon. It was, the second score was a field goal for the Atlanta Falcons, of course. Penalty marker here on the run back, and it's going to be against the Atlanta Falcons, and puts the ball up to the 29-yard line. Here's the referee.
Face mask, number 32, the kicking team during the return, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Ray Easterling, 1st and 10 at the 29 for the Green Bay Packers.
And Philadelphia, both of these teams, 4-1, playing super on the year. Philadelphia with their early first quarter lead.
Lofton's in the wide right for David Whitehurst. Adkins and Barty Smith are the setbacks. Adkins. But it's Frank Reed, the strong safety, in to make the tackle. At the 31-yard line, a gain of 2 makes it 2nd and 8.
Well, he had the right guard, Leotis Harris, out in front of him, Lindsey, and Leotis Harris didn't hit anybody. Pulled around too deep. Atkins cutting up inside.
Second down play coming for the Green Bay Packers. The clock is running with 1 minute 43 seconds. Remaining to be played in the first quarter. Whitehurst. Whitehurst is sacked at the 29 by Jeff Yates, 8-year veteran from Boston College.
Well, they only had 3 receivers out. All of them were covered, and Whitehurst got his 14th sack of the year. Most fans think that's the quarterback's fault when he gets sacked. I tell you, Bart, man, I'm going to have to take up for him a little bit, Lindsey. You know, he's lost 6 players during the year, and all of them are #1 draft choice. Ezra Johnson's out. Butler's been out a couple games. He's playing with a dislocated shoulder. Concar's missed action. John Anderson hasn't seen any action. And Eddie Lee Avery's out. Now Barb Zolofskas is out. You lose some players like that, and it's tough.
Third down and 10 yards to go, and Whitehurst decides he'll keep it. And he got it up as far as the first down yardage.
And I like that, Lindsey. I love to see a quarterback run with the football. I think the injury problem that quarterbacks get, they're not going to get injured as much as they try to run the football and get the first down. When you see them go into the fetal position, slide down, and then those defensive backs take a shot at you, that's where, when you're running the football, you're going to get hurt.
Cordell Middleton, number 34, back along the sideline behind Bart Starr there. So he has been to the locker room, has received treatment, and is back and apparently ready. 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line for the Green Bay Packers. Quick pitch to Atkins. Got about 4. Greg Brzezina there on the stop. And there's the gun sounding the end of the period. So that is the end of the first quarter here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, and the score is Atlanta 10 and the Green Bay Packers nothing.
Antifreeze. You never think about it, or how it has to protect somebody beside you, or what could happen without it. Stranded in freezing weather and no help for miles. Don't trust your luck. Don't trust the weather. Take out old, weak antifreeze now and put your trust in Prestone 2. More people trust Prestone than all other brands combined.
I've been worried about you.
More people trust Prestone. And when you flush your cooling system, trust Prestone Super Flush.
The J.C. Penney battery presents 3 very powerful alternatives. The J.C. Penney 3, 4, and 5-year batteries. And right now, the 5-year battery with as much power as most top-of-the-line batteries is on sale. For a limited time, you can save $11 on our everyday price. That's right. Save $11 on the J.C. Penney 5-year battery. Just one of J.C. Penney's full line of maintenance-free batteries.
Natural light beer, please. Actually, I guess you're supposed to say, give me a natural or make it a natural. Okay, so I'm a maverick. But, you know, I just walked out of a bar because they didn't have natural light beer.
You must have been humidified.
So was I.
I emphasize with you. You know, Kevin, without the smooth, clean taste of this light beer is downright unnatural.
You know, that's so true. That's why I came in here for a natural. There you go. I just said natural. It goes to show you. I guess you hear something so often, you naturally just follow along like a flock of sheep. Monkey see, monkey do.
As we start the second quarter in Atlanta, this is Lindsey Nelson with Paul Horning, and the Atlanta Falcons leading 10-0. The Green Bay Packers have the ball just short of their own 45-yard line. Second down and 6 yards to go.
Falcons going in a little flex defense there.
Whitehurst still has it. Throws it back, and it's Marty Smith. 50, 45.
That's the way to run.
And he gets to the 40 for a 1st and 10 in Atlanta territory. Rollin Lawrence brought him down.
I tell you, he saw Rollin Lawrence on the outside, the big guy, 33, and he just put his shoulder down. It's a good thing Lawrence didn't get in front. Watch the move here of David Whitehurst. If you don't think he's got the quick feet, this is a complete ad-lib play, and he just looked back against the grain and got it back to Barty Smith beautifully. This is the furthest the Packers have advanced the football. Look at here, he puts his head down. He almost killed Rollin Lawrence if he had a shot at him.
A pass completion born of desperation. 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. 15-yard pickup on the play. Atkins, 30, 25. Rick Bias ran him out.
Atkins' stats on the year, 131-yard rushing, but he did go over 100 yards in the second game against the Saints. He had 110 yards rushing. Very strong running back. And the Giants over Tampa Bay by 7. And I'm sure everybody else in the Central Division being interested in that one if they could pull an upset over Tampa Bay.
You saw Atkins go off the field. Cordell Middleton has come back in. It is 1st and 10 for the Green Bay Packers at the 22-yard line of the Atlanta Falcons. Middleton's in the left set. Barty Smith in the right set. Middleton. Finally made a small game. Mike Lewis brought him down.
No score, second quarter, Buffalo, Chicago. Well, Middleton, that's the kind of run that takes a little out of you, Lindsey. It's only a 1 or maybe close to a 2-yard gain, but he turned a 3-yard loss into a 2-yard gain. And boy, that's tough physical run like that when the pursuit's all over you.
2nd and 8, just short of the 20-yard line. Middleton left, Barty Smith right. Andre Thompson wide left, Lofton in the slot left. Whitehurst. Incomplete. Lofton made the diving attempt.
Well, ever since Lofton came into the league, he's been double covered. He's only of course, he was rookie last year, rookie of the year in a few polls. Lofton has been double covered every time. Even they put him on the inside in the slot, Lindsey. They bring up a safety man, both safety men covering. When he goes out on the outside, the cornerback and safety man double covering. And why not? He's really the only guy that right now that you could say that is really a touchdown threat deep for the Packers.
3rd and 8, short of the 20-yard line. Whitehurst. That's incomplete. Intended for Andre Thompson.
And they didn't blitz.
So it is 4th and 8, short of the 20-yard line.
Chester Markle hadn't seen too much action, which indicative of not moving the football offensively in the first 5 games, Lindsay. What is he, 2 out of 3 on the year?
2 out of 3 on the year. This will be a 39-yard attempt. David Beverly is holding for him. A 39-yarder by Markle.
He blew it.
It's wide right. So the ball goes over. That's the line of scrimmage just in advance of the 20-yard line. And the score remains. The Atlanta Falcons 10 and the Green Bay Packers nothing in the second quarter here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Can a 1980 Ford LTD priced about $7,300 ride as quietly as a $65,000 Rolls-Royce? Both were tested under identical conditions, over smooth roads, over rough roads, at 20, 40, and 55 miles per hour. And the LTD rode just as quietly as the Rolls-Royce. Incredible? Not for LTD, because LTD is so solidly built, so well engineered. Ford LTD, as quiet as a Rolls-Royce.
What do you have?
He wants an Anheuser-Busch natural light beer.
Hey, just say natural. That way he won't have to move his lips so much.
Okay, a natural. This guy real?
You know, for a piece of wood, you speak with remarkable clairvoyance.
Yeah? What's your excuse? Les. Hey, man, I apologize.
Forget it. Anyone so appreciatory of natural, smooth, clean taste is okay by me.
Just remember to say natural next time.
Must be hard working with this dummy.
Oh, he's all right.
Tomorrow night on CBS, The White Shadow, MASH, at the 13th Annual Country Music Association Awards.
And don't miss MASH, of course. Radar says goodbye on MASH. And then, of course, it's Kenny Rogers. He hosts the show. What a voice he has.
That's all tomorrow night on CBS. 1st and 10 for the Atlanta Falcons. Bubba Bean and William Andrews, but that is the quarterback, Bartkowski. And it's incomplete. Trying to get it out there to Wallace Francis. Incidentally, defensive end Jeff Morrow in the opening game of the season in New Orleans sustained a toe injury. He was on the injured reserve, came back today, started, has re-injured it, and may not be back.
Look at Bartkowski. That would have been a completed pass had not Charles Johnson, the rookie out of Maryland, put the pass rush on. Philadelphia, 8-yard run by Wilbert Montgomery and a Ron Jaworski pass to Montgomery. 2 scores there for the Eagles.
2nd and 10 with Atlanta's ball at the 20-yard line. Falcons are leading 10-0. Bubba Bean. Out there about the 28-yard line. Mike Butler was there on the target. Kansas City, Cincinnati, no score in the second quarter.
3rd down, and the Packers have had trouble with 3rd down on defense.
They're at about 2.5 or 3 to go.
Poorest team in the NFC on 3rd down defensively.
Bartkowski. Andrews. Gary Weaver made the tackle as Andrews was determined to get across that 30 and dig up there to the sticks, which he did.
You know, this is what they knew about Andrews in the draft, Lindsay. The Falcons, Eddie LeBaron said, we knew the kid could catch the football well. You see the good hands of the fullback on a little fan pattern on the linebacker there, it's called, and he makes a good catch, 1st down, but they didn't expect him to run this well. Over 440 yards now in the year.
Bubba Bean in motion outside left. Quick pitch, and it's taken by Andrews. William Andrews, the rookie from Auburn, is across the 40-yard line. Rich Wingo from Alabama made the tackle. It'll be 2nd down. About 2 to go.
That's the toughest play fundamentally for a fullback to run is the little quick pitch with your guard or tackle out in front of you. Not too many fullbacks really run it and execute it properly, Lindsay, and this kid gets outside pretty quick. Sam Cunningham got over from 1 yard out in New England, 7-0.
2nd down play coming. Dennis Bubba Bean. And a little second effort got him up there very close to the sticks. Gary Weaver was there for the Green Bay Packers. Now, they leave the ball right there because they got to determine whether or not he got the first down. McCarty takes a look across. And he finally says, bring out the chain. Let's take a look and measure it. If any part of the ball is in advance of the stick, it is a first down. Otherwise, not.
Congratulations in order for my man sitting to my left, Lindsey Nelson. Lindsey, congratulations being voted the outstanding play-by-play man in football. Received the Golden Mike Award the other day in New York from the Touchdown Club of America.
I thank you. I tell you, that's one I was glad to get because the Touchdown Club is populated with football folks.
It sure is. Well, there's over 50 candidates going for that little gold. Was it real gold? If it's real gold, you made a killing.
I'm going to examine it. It looks like it. Here's Bartkowski with a throw that is complete. Across the 50 to Wallace Francis. And Wallace Francis trying to circle. I think just missed the first down.
Giants, any particular Sunday, they used to say, the Giants 14-0 over Tampa Bay. Billy Taylor scored 2 touchdowns for the Giants. Here it is again. Packers trying to blitz with Mike Douglas is picked up. That means man-to-man. Mike McCoy is out there all alone on the flank. He had the first down, Lindsey, came back, and now it's going to be second and short.
2nd and 1 at the 47-yard line. Andrews is in the fullback set. Bubba Bean gets the ball. He gets the first down. Mike Butler in to make the tackle, but I think there's a penalty marker dropped by a lineman. Offsides against the Green Bay Packers.
There's Jim Mitchell. What a great one he's been for Atlanta. You'll see he will be taken out on third down situation. He's lost a step and a half. A great 11-year veteran from Prairie View, and they use him mostly as a blocker. He's only caught 2 passes on the year, which is very unusual for Mitchell. He used to be one of the best tight ends in the business.
Offside, number 77 defense, first down.
Mike Butler, they accept the penalty, makes it 1st and 10 at the 42. 9 minutes, 49 seconds left to play in the first half here. Butler, a 3-year man from Kansas. This is Bubba Bean from Texas A&M. Got to the 37-yard line before Rich Wingo from the Crimson Tide made the tackle.
New England, Don Calhoun scored from 2 yards out. Sam Cunningham got over from 1 yard. It's 14-0 over the line.
2nd and 6. The Atlanta Falcons at the Green Bay 38-yard line. The Falcons are leading 10-0.
Packers got a rookie in there, Charles Johnson from Maryland. Guy picked up on waivers, Earl Edwards.
And this time, Bartkowski is sacked by the Pack defense, led by Mike Douglas, the linebacker. Back at the 48-yard line for a loss of 10.
2nd down, and the Pack starting to blitz. Successful last week. Green Bay has never been known as a blitzing team, but they're going to have to do it. There's 73 getting free from the inside. That's Earl Edwards, just picked up 2 weeks ago. He starts the sack. You see Douglas, 53, will get credit for it.
3rd down and 16 yards to go for Atlanta at the Green Bay 48-yard line.
Yeah, they got Jim Mitchell out of there, 3 receivers.
Dennis Pearson in the wide right. Francis in the slot right. There is a delay, I believe. Delay of game. It's a 5-yard penalty. It'll put the ball back at the 47-yard line and make it 3rd and 21 for the Atlanta Falcons, coached by that gentleman, Lehman Bennett, whom you just saw. Here's McCarter.
Delay of game. Offense. Still 3rd down.
Well, those microphones sure make it easier for the fans at home. It sure makes it easier for us.
It certainly does. Well, Bartkowski was hit just as he started the arm forward. It's an incomplete pass.
Well, there's a blitz again. Wingo. Look at Wingo. Put his arms around Weaver.
It'll bring the punting unit on now for the Atlanta Falcons, and it'll drop Steve Odom back for the Green Bay Packers. 8 minutes, 31 seconds remain to be played in the first half. John James back to punt. 8-year veteran from the University of Florida has averaged 41.5.
Oh, he's a fine punter, Lindsay. Usually hangs the ball up for a good 4 seconds. Kicks it high. Led the league a couple of years ago. Better hurry.
James puts it up. Look at that. Odom calls for a fair catch and lets it go, and it's going to bounce back and go out of bounds at the 7-yard line.
How about that for a bounce? That's when you turn the end over on the punt. As John James getting congratulated on the sidelines. Lindsay, a beautiful 46-yard punt.
A big green football team and endless yellow sea. A cherry pie and orange sky. The bluest eyes you'll ever see. Yes, America's true colors come through on GE.
GE TV brings you America's colors vivid and lifelike. And our special VIR2 circuit adjusts the color automatically.
Yes, America's true colors come through on GE. GE, we bring good things to life.
Super automotive values from Sears. After 40,000 highway miles, then the 2,000-mile Pony Express route, a set of Sears Road Handler radials exceeded federal safety standards for new tires. Now buy the first Road Handler at regular price, get the second at 30% off. And now get the full power of the maintenance-free Sears 48 for a full $7 off its regular low price. Now on sale, the Sears 48, $47.99 with trade-in. You save $7. At Sears, where America shops for value.
Next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular, see the grace of the world's top gymnasts and the power of the world's strongest men. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
CBS Sports Spectacular. Some of the top international stars will be competing, like Kurt Thomas. Green Bay Packers have the ball, but they have it deep in their own territory at the 7. The Atlanta Falcons are leading by a score of 10-0. And we have 8 minutes, 22 seconds left to play in the first half.
Atlanta's in a little flex defense. It's made famous by the Cowboys.
From the end zone, Whitehurst. And he is sacked for a safety. And it's Mike Lewis who got trapped. A safety at 2-pointer. The score is 12-0. Lewis got there. Credited with the safety.
Jeff Yates was also there. Lots of pressure put on Whitehurst. On first down, we said that we're going to throw the football a lot today. Here comes the linebacker also. And at 69, Mike Lewis with a safety. Here it is again. Mark Concar on the inside. Cannot keep out Lewis. Concar with the 4 blocks. And Mike Lewis gets 2 for Atlanta.
He is credited with the safety in the score as the Atlanta Falcons 12, the Green Bay Packers nothing.
Now, the trick is, in just 3 moves, they get the light bottle caps all together, moving 2 each time. Once, twice, 3.
What? That's easy.
I could put away a lot of beer by the time they figure this one out. That's why I'm drinking light beer from Miller. Not only does light taste great, but it's got 1/3 less calories than their regular beer. And it's less filling.
Hey, what's going on here?
Okay, once more. 1, 2, 3.
What? That's easy. Let me in.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
The car, the 1980 Mustang. The place, Ford's Test Track, Dearborn. Mustang proves itself a sports car for the 80s. The U.S. Auto Club tested Mustang for acceleration, for cornering, for steering response, for braking, for overall driving performance. The result, Mustang is certified by the U.S. Auto Club as a sports car. Sports car performance, impressive fuel economy. That's Ford Mustang, a sports car for the 80s.
Following the safety by the Atlanta Falcons, it'll be a free kick, and the ball can be put in play from placement or from punt. It's going to be punted.
Good punt.
It is taken back at the 23 by Rick Bias, and Bias returns it to the 40-yard line. Dave Simmons made the tackle, and now the Falcons get the ball 1st and 10, and they get it at their own 40-yard line.
There you see Jim Gano. He threw himself into that wedge and tried to disrupt bias from the football. There he is. Gano was shaken up a little bit, but he's trotting off. He's okay. Good special team man, Gano.
Pearson along the sideline. He's in on returns, and he's frequently used as a wide receiver. Bubba Bean and William Andrews in there now as setbacks for Bartkowski. Bartkowski setting it up, going long, and it's incomplete. Trying to get it to Wallace Francis, the 7-year veteran from Arkansas A&M. Mike McCoy on the corner covering defensively, 2nd and 10 for the Atlanta Falcons.
Bartkowski was off to a quick start. He was leading the National Football League in the statistical ratings. But last week's game against Washington, when probably had the poorest day of his career, 6 for 26, dropped him way back. But today, he's 6 out of 11 for 54 yards and 1 TD.
Bartkowski has completed only 35% of his passes in the past 2 games. 6 for 26 against Washington's tough defense last week. Area stats for today. It's 2nd down and 10 yards to go.
Packers in a 3-man front, 4 linebackers faking the blitz.
Well, a little confrontation, but Andrews has the ball. He and Bartkowski sort of met each other head on, but Andrews got the ball, and Steve Luke finally made the tackle. It's in advance of the 45-yard line.
Andrews says, give me the football and get out of the way. Little mix-up quarterback, little stutter step here. It looked as if it was going to be an inside handoff. Bartkowski wanted a handoff on the outside. Doesn't matter for Andrews. Going to pick up 6 anyway.
3rd down and 4 yards to go for the Falcons. Pearson's in a wide right. Andrews the lone setback. Bartkowski. Pearson. Made the catch for 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. Johnny Gray on the tackle.
No way to stop that, Lindsey. Quick post, and it was a perfect pass. Actually, not a perfect pass, but it was fired quickly right in between the linebacker, the cornerback, and the safety man. And Pearson just went down to his knee, made the catch for 17 yards.
So the Falcons leading by a score of 12-0 are driving again into Green Bay territory here. I believe in Steve, it says. Steve Bartkowski. Bubba Bean in motion to the outside left. Quick pitch, taken by William Andrews. Drives across the 35 before Charles Johnson brings him down.
Well, once he makes a cut, he's a north-south runner.
He is that with a lot of power.
You know, most of those, you'll see a lot of backs, especially on a pitch out or a sweep. When they go out there, they just pity-pat, you know. They take their time and try to wait for their blocking to materialize. Lindsey, this kid, even for a rookie, got great instincts.
6 feet tall, 200-pounder. It's 2nd and 6 at the 34-yard line for Atlanta. Bubba Bean. Got to about the 32. Gary Weaver on stop.
The Redskins coming back with a touchdown 2nd quarter to cut Philadelphia's lead to 7.
3rd down and 4 yards to go at the 32-yard line. Andrews has carried 8 times for 45. Bean has carried 6 times for 34. Andrews. But this time, Charles Johnson, 99, has him firmly in his grasp. And on 4th down, Tim Mazzetti is coming in.
Take a look right at the middle linebacker. End zone shot. Here it comes to Andrews. Off the left side, 99 is Charles Johnson. He slipped off the block of Dave Scott. Made the good play from defensive tackle.
James is in the hole for Mazzetti, and this will be a 48-yard attempt. Now, that's his longest ever is 43. That's a little long, but he's taking a shot here at a 48-yarder. His longest ever is 43. The 48er is good. And Mazzetti has set a new personal record for the year of 48
great story in pro football. A bartender in Philadelphia, they picked him up and he kicked super last year.
Don't ever underestimate the bartender.
That's right.